Welcome to McDougall United Church, Alberta's oldest Protestant denomination. The ministry of McDougall has existed for 149 years. Let me tell you a bit about the church's foundation and growth. In June 1871, when Canada was just 4 years old and Alberta was not yet a province, the first McDougall Church was founded by the Methodist minister George Millward McDougall and his wife Elizabeth Chandler. With the help of many people, including the entrepreneur John Walter and some Hudson's Bay employees, McDougall erected Edmonton's first structure independent of the fort. Together they built this small wooden church that had a capacity of just 40 people. McDougall himself built the original pulpit. As the only Protestant church in the area, the congregation consisted of many of Edmonton's earliest and most prominent citizens, including Richard Hardesty, chief factor of the Hudson's Bay Company, Malcolm Grote, and, as mentioned, John Walter. McDougall himself remained at the church he founded for only a few years. In 1875, he moved west of Calgary to Morley, and just 1 year later he died. Still, his church continued to grow without him, and it soon became clear that a larger building was necessary. So, in 1892, the McDougall congregation built a second building with a seating capacity of 150 people. The new building boasted the first pipe organ in the city and also the first opera association, which at one time performed The Pirates of Penzance. Even when the church was enlarged to hold 200 people, the thriving congregation was still too large for the building. In 1913, it was sold and dismantled. In 1909, the congregation invested $70,000, so that's about $1.5 million by today's standards, in the construction of the church's third building, the one still used by the congregation today. Next time you are walking past the church, have a look at the cornerstone located behind the large illuminated sign. This cornerstone was laid by George and Elizabeth McDougall's daughter, Elizabeth Hardesty. It included a time capsule which contained some contemporary newspapers, Methodist books and a hymn book, a Bible, and a manuscript history of the church up to that time. In any case, 1 year later in 1910, McDougall Methodist Church was completed. With a seating capacity of 1,600 people, it was a much grander building than its predecessors. The building was designed by Herbert Elton Magoon, a Quebec-born architect who had offices in Sydney, Nova Scotia before coming to Edmonton, where he made an enormous contribution to the urban landscape. Despite its appearance of solidity and permanence, the exterior of the present McDougall building has undergone a number of changes since it was built. In 1954, the alcove above the main stairs was altered to remove the front brick arches from the entrance. That same year, an annex, where the double doors on the south side of the building are located, was added. The addition currently provides office space, meeting, and worship space. Even today, McDougall Church remains a site of change and transformation. Inside, McDougall has also undergone a number of changes. For instance, many of the stained glass windows would not be added for another 19 years after the building's completion. The windows you see in the building today were donated to the church in 1929 by the Church Ladies' Aid Group, which paid $1,170 for them. The beauty of the windows lies in their simplicity and the restraint employed in the design. The semicircular arrangement of the sanctuary, which seats 1,600 worshippers, is common to Methodist churches, which emphasize the importance of seeing and hearing the minister, as well as the communal experience of worship. Likewise, the relative lack of ornaments suggests the Protestant emphasis on preaching rather than other forms of worship. The original oak pulpit of the third building can also still be seen in the church, although today a more modern one is in active use. In 1910, in addition to the new building, the congregation also purchased a new pipe organ for $10,825. To protect this new investment, the board restricted its use. Lessons and practice sessions were prohibited. However, by the 1970s, the organ was in need of extensive repairs, necessitating its replacement. After it was dismantled and sold, it was replaced with a Rogers 990 electronic organ that was the largest in the province. Although this organ is still regularly used, in 2000 McDougall again modernized its music by purchasing a Bösendorfer grand piano. The piano has enriched the church's musical program, and it is also greatly appreciated by the performers that use our sanctuary. Finally, you might be wondering about the church's denomination. Although at its foundation McDougall was a Methodist church, in 1925 the congregation joined the United Church of Canada. Today, McDougall Church remains a vibrant and progressive community. We thank you for joining us on this short tour. We hope that you will be able to visit us in person when it becomes safe to do so.